It was Christmas Eve, and the snow was gently falling outside, casting a serene blanket over our small town. Inside, our home was buzzing with the warmth and joy of the festive season. I, Margaret, was in charge of the final touches on our traditional Christmas Eve dinner. The aroma of roasted turkey and freshly baked pies filled the air, mingling with the scent of pine from our beautifully decorated Christmas tree. Our family had just gathered around the dining table, adorned with a red and gold tablecloth, candles flickering softly in the background. We were about to start our meal when a knock at the door interrupted us. Puzzled, I stood up to answer it, wondering who could it be on such a night. Upon opening the door, I was met with a sight that took me by surprise. There, standing in the cold, was an elderly man, his coat dusted with snow, eyes gleaming with a mixture of hope and apprehension. He introduced himself as Mr. Harrison, a neighbor from a few streets away who had lost his way back home. Without a second thought, I invited him in, offering him a place at our dinner table. The initial awkwardness soon melted away as Mr. Harrison shared stories of his past Christmases, filled with joy and laughter. He had a way with words, and his tales brought an unexpected richness to our evening. As the night progressed, we learned that Mr. Harrison had been living alone since his wife passed away, and that he rarely had company during the holidays. Our hearts were touched by his loneliness, and we found ourselves grateful for his unexpected presence. It was as if he was meant to be there with us, to remind us of the true spirit of Christmas, sharing and caring for others. We exchanged gifts, sang carols, and enjoyed the feast together. The warmth in Mr. Harrison's eyes as he smiled and thanked us for our hospitality was the best Christmas gift we could have received. That night, as Mr. Harrison left, he turned to me and said, "Thank you for opening your door and your hearts to a stranger." His words resonated with me, reminding me that sometimes the most precious moments come from the most unexpected encounters. From that Christmas Eve onwards, our family had a new tradition, an open door policy for anyone who might need a place to share the joy of the season. Mr. Harrison's visit was not just a mere coincidence, it was a blessing in disguise, a reminder of the joy and kindness that lies at the heart of Christmas. As the days turned into weeks, the memory of Mr. Harrison's visit lingered in our home. His presence had left an indelible mark on our hearts, and we often found ourselves reminiscing about that special evening. It wasn't just the stories he shared or the laughter that echoed through our dining room. It was the profound sense of connection and humanity he brought into our lives. Inspired by this experience, I decided to reach out to Mr. Harrison again. Accompanied by my family, I visited his modest home, nestled in a quiet corner of our neighborhood. We were greeted with a warm, albeit surprised smile. Mr. Harrison's eyes lit up with joy, a stark contrast to the solitude that seemed to linger in the air of his home. Over cups of steaming hot chocolate, Mr. Harrison shared more about his life. We learned about his years as a young man, his travels, the love story with his late wife, and the silence that had enveloped his life since her passing. Each story was like a window into a past era, filled with love, adventure, and sometimes poignant moments of sorrow. Our visits became a regular occurrence. Each time, we brought a piece of our world into his, be it through our stories, homemade meals, or simply our company. In return, Mr. Harrison shared his wisdom, his memories, and, most importantly, his friendship. As the next Christmas approached, we decided to do something special. We invited Mr. Harrison to spend Christmas Eve and day with us. The joy and anticipation in his eyes were unmistakable when he accepted our invitation. Together we planned the menu, the decorations, and even a small list of guests. A few of Mr. Harrison's friends, who, like him, were spending the holidays alone. That Christmas was unlike any other we had experienced. Our home was filled not just with our family, but with new friends, each with their own stories and experiences. The air was thick with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses. Mr. Harrison, once a lost soul on a snowy Christmas Eve, was now at the center of a lively celebration, surrounded by friends and family. As we gathered around the Christmas tree, exchanging gifts and stories, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude. What had started as a simple act of kindness had blossomed into something beautiful, a community of hearts and souls united by the spirit of the season. In the end, the unexpected visitor on that cold Christmas Eve taught us an invaluable lesson. The true essence of Christmas isn't just in the festive decorations or the lavish meals, it's in the connections we make, the doors we open, and the love we share. Mr. Harrison was much more than just a guest. He was a reminder of the joy and beauty that can be found in the most unexpected places and people. As the new year rolled in, our bond with Mr. Harrison only grew stronger. He became an honorary member of our family, joining us for Sunday dinners, birthdays, and even family outings. The loneliness that once clouded his life seemed to dissipate with each passing day, replaced by a newfound sense of belonging and joy. Our children, especially, grew fond of Mr. Harrison. They would often rush to his house after school, eager to hear more of his stories or to show him their latest school projects. In return, Mr. Harrison taught them chess, shared his love for gardening, and occasionally treated them to tales of his adventures in distant lands. It was a beautiful exchange, the exuberance of youth meeting the wisdom of age. As the next Christmas Eve approached, our family started preparing with even greater enthusiasm. We planned to recreate the previous year's gathering, hoping to bring together those who were alone during the holidays. This time, Mr. Harrison was more than just a guest. He was an integral part of the celebration, involved in every step of the planning. The evening was magical. Our home was filled with an eclectic mix of people, each adding their unique flavor to the celebration. The air was filled with the sound of laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses, just like the year before, but with an even deeper sense of community and warmth. Mr. Harrison, who had once stumbled upon our home as a lost and lonely soul, was now the life of the party. His laughter was infectious, his stories more captivating than ever, and his presence brought a sense of completeness to our celebration. As the night drew to a close, we gathered around the fireplace, sharing our hopes and wishes for the coming year. It was a moment of reflection, gratitude, and profound joy. Mr. Harrison, with tears glistening in his eyes, spoke softly, "You have turned my loneliest night into my most cherished memories. I am forever grateful." That night, as we said our goodbyes, I realized that the greatest gift of that Christmas was not found under the tree. It was in the love and companionship we shared, the community we built, and the joy we brought into each other's lives. From that year onward, our Christmas Eve was never just about our family. It was about extending our table, opening our hearts, and sharing our blessings with those around us. Mr. Harrison's unexpected visit had sparked a tradition that transcended the festive season, reminding us that the spirit of Christmas is about giving, sharing, and loving, not just for a day, but all year round.